Hi, guys. How's it going?
Good morning. Hey, what's up?
Welcome to the airwaves, everybody.
Yes.
Get used to it. You're here for a while. Before we get going, there's 5 of you around the table, and we want to meet each of you, so learn about the book you chose for Canada Reads. People are really excited about this. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to introduce each of you, and then ask you to give a 30-second elevator pitch, an opening statement, if you will. During that 30 seconds, I want you to make your case. What is this book all about? Why is it the book all Canadians should read? I'll start you with this thing. Can you hear that?
Yep.
A little closer, maybe? Mm-hmm. There you go. And then at the end of the 30 seconds, and if you go over the 30 seconds, I dock you points in Canada Reads. That's not true. I don't have that kind of power. Can't do that. But please, help us out. To get you prepped for the big week in March, I'm going to use the mighty powerful Canada Reads bell to get you going. And we're going to start out with our first panelist, fashion guru, creative director of Elle Magazine. He's been on TV shows like The City, Stylista, Project Runway Canada, currently the executive producer of the Netflix series 7 Days Out, and a judge on the TV show Stitched. Hello, Josie.
Hello.
Nice to have you here.
Wow. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So you're first.
Lots of pressure.
You drew the short straw.
I did, yeah.
Well, I'll dive in. Everyone's being very polite so far.
We don't want to be voted off the island quite yet.
Yeah, I understand. All right. So before we hit the bell, what book have you chosen?
I am defending The Woo Woo by Lindsay Wong.
The Woo Woo by Lindsay Wong. You have 30 seconds to defend your book for the first time. At the ringing of this bell, tell us why this is the book all of Canada needs to read.
I feel like I'm going crazy. And sometimes I feel like I'm the sanest person in the room. And you know this feeling because we're all flawed, a little broken. Mental health affects us all. And if we don't talk about it, especially in my Asian culture, well, it might just go away. And that, my friends, is the heart of The Woo Woo, Lindsay Wong's darkly comedic memoir that will break your heart. I lived her words and her shame, dealing with her Chinese-Canadian family's grapple of mental health. Their dark days explained away a superstition beyond their control. But in this book, well, Lindsay takes that control back.
I feel like I just lost a rap battle. Wow. That was incredible. What do you think of that? Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Pretty, right off the top of his head. He's pretty good. He's a natural. All right. So sitting next to Joe, we have a guy whose band has sold more than 50 million albums, performed in more than 70 countries. The band's hits include the songs I'm Just a Kid and Life is a Nightmare, Addicted, and Welcome to My Life. He's the drummer for Simple Plan and the soundtrack to my adolescent tears. Chuck Como is here today. Chuck, what book are you defending?
It's called Homes by Abu Bakr al-Rabi'a, and it's fantastic.
All right. Well, that doesn't count against your 30 seconds. I want to point that out.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Your 30 seconds starts to defend Homes when I ring this bell.
Imagine a childhood filled with bombs, attacks, bullets, and dead bodies. This is the life that 10-year-old Abu Bakr lived in Syria until he escaped to Canada. In this scary moment in our collective history where fear and hatred have become normalized, Home is essential reading. This incredible memoir will make you more compassionate and profoundly grateful that you and your children don't have to fall asleep to the sounds of machine guns tonight. And it will make you very proud to be from here, this incredible country, and that brought Bakr here and his family with open arms.
You went a little bit over, but God, I can't interrupt that with the bell. Are you crazy?
You're so kind.
You called me out. I can't interrupt that kind of thing with the bell. Well done, Chuck Como. Our next panelist is a top cover model, celebrated philanthropist, also an award-winning actor, starring in films like Deep and Meta's Oscar-nominated Water. Once host of Top Chef Canada, now she's bringing those reality skills to Canada Reads. Hello, Lisa Ray.
Oh, man. Hey, Tom.
How's it going? Nice to see you.
Yeah. I'm so tense, man. I you like such responsibility.
You seem
Can
you're kind of fiddling. We're on the radio, but you're kind of fiddling with your fingers.
Like
but you have the only book.
Keeping it real.
You have the only book I've looked at.
That you have looked at.
So,
right.
Which book have you selected for Canada Reads?
I selected Brother, and it's a novel by David Cheriandy.
Brother by David Cheriandy. In 30 seconds, tell me why this is the book you believe all Canadians should read.
Brother, set in Scarborough of the 90s by David Cheriandy, takes us through the universal unifying experience of loss through a coming-of-age story of two brothers of Trinidadian origin. In Brother, we bear witness to the workings of kinship, class, gender, love, race, thwarted hopes, and senseless tragedy. This poetic book is a ballad. It is now. It is an opportunity for Canada to claim its own modern-day opera set in our own backyard. Brother will linger long after you finish, move you to analyze your own prejudices, to look beyond headlines and question your own idea of what is valor and heroism.
Nice. There we go. Hold on. There we go. I have to say, all these descriptions have been so powerful. I have been able to ring the bell. I'm just not gonna do it. That was beautiful. That's Brother by David Cheriandy. Thank you, Lisa Ray. Sitting across from Lisa, actually. Prominent science journalist, best known for co-hosting the Discovery Channel's Daily Planet, worked as a correspondent for Nova Science Now on PBS, hosted Zed on CBC, the soundtrack to my 2 a.m. I stayed up too late, my parents haven't caught me yet.
Oh, I love that.
Remember Zed?
Oh, I definitely remember Zed.
That was a good time.
Unforgettable.
Yeah, 100%. So-
Every time you ring that bell, I feel like Pavlov, though. I keep like salivating and expecting food to come.
Yeah, you have been putting out your hand a lot, and I've had to turn you away a couple of times. Zayatong, which book are you defending?
I'm defending By Chance Alone, and it is by Max Eisen.
Are you ready for the bell?
I sure am.
Are you ready for the bell? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's do it.
Before 2016, I don't remember seeing swastikas, but these days I see them often in the news and on social media. But here's something even more shocking. 1 in 5 Canadian young people have not even heard of the Holocaust. They don't know what it is. There has never been a more important time to read Max Eisen's Holocaust memoir, By Chance Alone. It's a powerful reminder of what happens when we see the signs around us, but we choose to look away. This book not only moved me, I believe it has the power to move the nation.
Right on time as the 1 went to 0. That is some broadcasting professionalism there, Zaya. I can't quite get over that. It's something else. That's quite a description.
Thank you. I mean, this book didn't just figuratively move me. It moved me across the planet. I came back. I originally had a trip planned with my father, and we ended the trip, even though it was to see where my grandfather came from, because of this book. So it's important to me.
I can see that. Okay, so finally, we have, last but not least, our final panelist, actor from Montreal, where he also owns the spin studio, Spin Energy. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
But you probably know him as I tempered my butterflies in my stomach as Michel Girard on the hit TV show Gilmore Girls. I'm very excited to meet you, by the way. It's very cool to meet you.
Thank you.
Yannick Truesdale, which book are you defending?
So I'm defending Suzanne from Anaïs Barbeau-Lavalette. And
Are you ready for the bell?
I am.
All right, ready?
Yes.
Everyone's very tense here right now, by the way.
I'm not tense. I'm excited.
I know,
actually.
everyone else is very, very tense. All right, ready?
Suzanne is the poignant story of a woman who felt that she had no choice but to abandon her young children and husband to fulfill her true destiny. The story takes place at a time the Catholic Church was a major influence in Quebec society and when there were no role models for women who wanted more for themselves than being a mother or a wife. This is a powerful book full of rage and love. It's about forgiveness, what it means to be an artist, cultural identity, and understanding your past to fully embrace your present. I was hooked by the first page.
Jenny Truesdale. That is talking about Suzanne by Anaïs Barbeau-Lavalette. Well done, everybody. How's everybody feeling now that they got that out?
Pretty damn good now.
Not going to lie to you, there's a lot more of this coming.
Well, the problem is we actually really like each other. And we heard that there's crying on this show and people get very emotional and you know, not full fisticuffs, but I'm a bit worried about that.
So, I'll tell you this. I've said this before, but I came into this job thinking, you know, all right, Q, you know, I'm going to talk to the Canada Reads people and we're all going to come in. Oh, it's Battle of the Books. How tense. Oh, how scary can it really be? I like professional wrestling. And then it does get real. This is maybe the nicest you'll be to one another till after the show is over. I'm sad to say. I know.
I'm not that person, though. I can't see myself. I'll be passionate about the book, but I won't tear
I'm looking
anyone
at some of the
down.
Canada Reads people out in the booth right now. They're wrong, right? It's going to get real, and they're going to get meaner.
Yeah.
They're going to get meaner. I'm getting a
Are they
definite
going to
yes.
feed us something that's going to like change our personality
Yeah,
or something like that?
It's going to be like the
Because
Incredible
we're all
Hulk.
kind of, you know,
We're going to withhold food. This
Yeah.
is scholastic
Or withhold.
survival.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be trapped on an island.
I'm sure you guys have like some techniques to like wind us up.
Me, I'm just going to sit here and enjoy it. I'm just going to sit here and listen in the studio and egg you on the radio going, I don't know about that. I don't know about that book. I think this
Yeah.
person won today. Maybe that's my technique. Lisa, I'll start with you. What do you make of the competition?
What do I make of the competition? I like them a little bit too damn much right now. But, you know, I'm pretty cool about this whole thing because I know I have the best book. So I don't need any strategy. That's all.
See the way you all just felt when she said that? That's what it's going to be like. You all smiled, and I appreciate it, but you went, oh, you got the best book, do you? I understand. Joe, what's your impressions of the panelists so far?
I love you guys, but in it to win it. I'm Asian with the competitive gene is in us, but I could do it with a smile. We can do it with a smile. We don't have to do it with tears, I think.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well,
Chuck,
maybe.
Chuck, what do you think? You're like in a punk band, man. Shouldn't you be scrapping it with everybody? Or
Well, you know, like I've been stage driving for like 15 years, so this is easy. I got this. I mean, 5,000 people trying to bring you down, like, you know, it's good. But you know what? Like for me, it's it's the chance to change somebody's life. Like, whoever's gonna win this, and this is a I think he's 17-year-old, the kid that wrote this. So it's a chance to launch a career and have it, have him being able to tell his story. That's incredible. So that's why I'm passionate and I care about it.
But you got to meet the author, right?
Yes, we did yesterday. I think we all got to meet everybody, which is kind of even makes it harder because everybody was so cool, and it was they're all compelling stories and they're all compelling people. So we'll see what happens.
Well, Yannick, that's what the host Ali Hassan told me. He said it's all people come in, they're like, and it's sort of a book that they like, or it's a book that's meaningful to them, but then you meet the author and it feels like you're kind of defending them a little bit.
Yeah, of course, because it's their voice, it's their life experiences. I mean, she wrote this, Suzanne. She wrote this because she didn't know her grandmother. Her grandmother abandoned her mom, and she wanted to understand who would do that. And so it starts really with a hatred letter to her grandmother that transformed into a love letter because she discovers a woman that was fascinating and going against the time that she was. So it's interesting. It's a very moving thing to meet her because it was obviously very personal to her.
Zaya, how about you?
How about me? What?
You got a chance to meet the author?
I sure did. And, it surprised me because I thought I was going to be really quite stoic. As I said to you, I was surprised when I watched last year's Canada Reads that people were actually crying. And I was like, that's not going to be me. The minute I met Max, my eyes started stinging and watering. And I told him I didn't think this was going to happen. But because his book and what he's lived through is so unbelievable. And then to actually look in his eyes and realize that this was real. And this wasn't just a story. And this wasn't even just history. This was like a real living moment. The book was alive, and it was standing right in front of me. And having a chance to meet him just like shivers, goosebumps.
Lisa, do you think you have an advantage because your book's already won a prestigious award?
No, I don't think so. But I do have an advantage because, again, it's so timely. It's a deeply politically charged novel of the moment. And, it's set sort of in my hometown. It is set in so-called Scarberia, a much disparaged, much misunderstood kind of neighborhood. And, I think as Canadians, we are under this conceit that, Canada is a fair and just country. And in many ways we are. But in many ways, people fall between the cracks. And that's, again, what this book is about. It's about squashed dreams. It's about, struggles with authority and identity that I, as a Canadian, also kind of like struggled with for many years when you're of mixed identity. And this is really giving a voice and a platform to a community and people who are kind of underrepresented in mainstream Canadian literature. And that is so damn important that we look at what's happening in our own backyard. I mean, there's for instance, really cute stuff that I can relate to also growing up, like in the 90s. Where, one of the characters, they're of Trinidadian origin, and he says, my hair growing up was kind of a mix between an afro and a hockey mullet. Mm-hmm. And that is just, you can see it, right? Like, we have all grown up in Canada and we have that, 1 foot always in Canada, no matter what, and we carry that with us. And yet at the same time, we embrace, sort of like a wide, diverse identities. How do you negotiate that, and how do you negotiate your dreams? There's so much. This is such a dense, rich, thick book. Music, it's a ballad, it's an opera, music, coursing through it. So this book is just, it's genius and it's of the moment.
Josie, last word to you. After hearing all these words about the books this morning, how are you feeling about your own?
Oh, I am obsessed with my book. I love my book, in a way that it really touched me in a personal way because it is about my culture and growing up with a Chinese Canadian family and really the things that we don't feel because we just supposed to live. And I understood what Lindsay went through in those moments. But at the end of the day, it's not even a coming of age story for a young girl or even our culture or family or an immigrant story. It's that we are all immigrants, that we are such a melting pot here in Canada of diversities and upbringing, that we all come here seeking some sort of different life, some level of perfection. And when we don't find it, we have to just sort of hide it and mask it. And Lindsay's saying, no, we're going to stand up and we're actually going to say something about it.
I have to say, at the end of we do this every single year, and at the end, I usually go into the room and me and my producers sit down and talk, and they say, so who do you think's going to win? And I've gotten it right every time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
But I have to tell you, I don't know. I mean, I would have gotten it right twice. This is my third year, so it's not that great. But it's not.
Who do you think's going to win?
I don't. That's the thing. I don't know.
Really?
I don't know right now. I don't know right now.
Maybe you just have special, like you're intuitive.
I feel like that dolphin that predicts the Super Bowl. I swim towards the beach ball with Patriots on it or something like that.
Did you notice the way his arm actually moved towards me when he said that? I didn't see that.
Pretty good. Maybe that's it. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys, today. Appreciate that.
you.
And
Thanks,
good luck being friends.